as he climbs out of this thing.
Thank you all for coming, and I'm anxious to get this started, so I'll make this very brief. We've got a lot of pledges riding on this. It's all on paper right now, and I want to put that money in the bank by making some miles here.
All right, are we ready? On your mark. Get set. Go!
He seems normal enough, this lanky middle-aged runner, stepping off for a few laps around the track. But what sets him apart from the rest of those sharing his strides, indeed from the great world of recreational and competitive runners, is his stamina and an incredible drive. It's a drive that will carry him through 24 consecutive hours of running and walking, a full day and night, in pursuit of a goal, to fight cancer. Gordon Klatt is the type person who gets involved deeply. He's the president of Pierce County's unit of the American Cancer Society. And it's his involvement which brings him to this college stadium track in the evening hours of the last day of May.
I was kind of looking for ways of raising some money for the Cancer Society, and I thought, gee, if I run a marathon, maybe I can get some of the doctors to contribute per mile and raise some money. So I did that, and in November of '83, I ran the Seattle Marathon and raised $6,700 for the American Cancer Society. Of course, the next question that I asked myself and some of the other people there was, what are you going to do next year? And I really didn't have a good idea at that time, but over a period of months, I became interested in marathons, ultra-marathons, which is running over 26 miles, and talked to a few people and read about a few people who ran 24-hour runs. And I thought, boy, this is kind of crazy, and it'll attract more attention. Maybe I'll be able to raise more money. And that was really the seed of the idea back in probably April or May of 1984.
What's my time?
This kind of activity is known by the few who undertake it as ultra running or an ultra marathon. It's an extreme extension of the far more common 10K and 26-mile runs.
I kind of compare this sort of training with almost continuously training for a marathon. When I train for a marathon, I generally train intensively for about 3 months, where I run every day, about 50 miles a week, putting in some long runs occasionally, like up to 15 to 20 miles. When I trained for this, I continuously ran 50 to 60 miles a week for a year, and every weekend I ran at least 15 to 20 miles in one stretch. And that was really persistent. I had to do that every week and every weekend in order to maintain my strength, I think. If I would run 20 or 25 miles, I would hurt some, but it wouldn't be the intensity, and I wouldn't have to keep going. I would start hurting at 20 miles and maybe hurt for 5 miles. But on this particular day, I had to keep going.
There are two main reasons to keep going now. First, because every mile covered means more dollars donated to the American Cancer Society through pledges which are offered on a per-mile basis, and from those who contribute to run alongside Gordon. And secondly, the City of Destiny Classic seeks to raise the public awareness that the battles against all cancers, and in particular against cancer of the colon and rectum, are being won. Gordon Klatt began his 24-hour run against cancer in the evening, so when these darkest, longest hours arrived, he'd be relatively fresh.
At times it was uncomfortable. It was, I never reached the point where I wanted to quit.
It's after midnight now, and still the officials' tent and starting line are alive with friends and supporters.
Psychologically, I think I did pretty well. I really didn't hallucinate. I didn't... I've read about some people who have had those problems with 24 runs. I really stayed fairly clear throughout it, I think. And there was no psychological pain. I didn't really have to psych myself into continuing to go on. Probably the biggest factor psychologically was the people who were with me. They took turns going with me, supporting me, the people at the fence along the way who wave at me as I go by, cheer me on. Without them, I think I would have had a very difficult time continuing on and feeling the pain I had in my legs to keep going. If I'd have been out there all by myself, I don't think I could have done it.
It's been interesting because even the kids have really picked up upon it and their friends, and it's been really fun to see them get very excited about it and very supportive. So it's been kind of a family endeavor, and his parents are here and my mom and sister, and so it's been a very exciting time.
Gordon's wife, Trudy, his 3 kids, and his parents will stay here at the track from start to finish.
Oh yeah, we're proud of him. He's the oldest, and we're proud of the family. We only get out here about once every year. Last year I missed because of health, but we're proud of him. The whole family.
Roy Klatt is a pretty remarkable fellow himself. Little more than a year after open-heart surgery for half a dozen bypasses, he now walks 6 to 8 miles every day. And he'll be on the track with his son for most of the final 6 hours of this 24-hour classic. There are others in the pack tonight, including a 7-year-old first grader, who had his own special reason for joining Dr. Klatt on his odyssey.
Because
Why?
I wanted to.
Well, is there any other reason?
Yeah.
What was that?
Because Dr. Klatt fixed my lip up.
He did. Did you do a good job?
Yeah.
How did you hurt your lip?
I was running upstairs and I slipped and I cut it open.
Oh, and he sewed it back up for you.
Yeah.
So when he said he was going to go run and raise money for the cancer group, you said, I'll come along?
Yeah.
That's neat. That's neat. Did you raise money too?
Yeah, give him $3.
Throughout the night, as in every hour of this 24-hour run, a team of medical professionals is monitoring Gordon Klatt's body. A cardiologist and personal friend, Dr. Ted Stoidel, has him hooked up to a wireless heart monitor. Nutritionist Pat Keeley is keeping track of everything going into and out of his body, assuring proper levels of fluids. And the runner's muscles, too, gained special attention.
We had a physical therapist there who worked with me every 2 hours, the first 12 hours, and then every hour for the final 12, stretching my muscles, giving me a rub down. We had a massage therapist who came in at one time and gave me a rub down.
Gordon Klatt has made it through the night into a day which is a bit blustery and cool. The morning hours bring on a chill, and his body reacts.
My blood pressure dropped after 12 hours. At that particular time, I was throwing a lot of extra beats in my heart, up to 18 extra beats a minute.
A simple remedy, warm chicken soup, takes care of this problem. But a more serious threat develops. Gordon's muscles are tightening up, cramping, and it affects his stride.
What was in effect happening is that my muscles in my legs were really tightening up. Also the muscles in my shoulder shortening. And I wasn't able to stretch out. And I felt uncomfortable. That's probably the most uncomfortable time I had on the track. When I went in at the end of the 16th hour, that's when I got the rub down. That's when Mitch Blakeney, the physical therapist, began stretching my muscles and putting me through some exercises that really stretched them out. And then when I went out on the track, each hour, I improved. So I kind of turned the corner at that time, but I was really just kind of almost shriveling up with tightness of the muscles at that particular time.
It's now the end of the 23rd hour, and the medical team is checking its subject one last time.
Oh, yeah. I feel good.
You look at you get the color.
The only problem I have is this area here,
Where?
on the left sole of my foot, another blister, but otherwise I really feel loose.
How's that right calf?
That right calf is still a little sore, but I think it's getting better each hour.
Yeah, that's good.
My legs,
Telling us something.
my legs feel better now than they did 12 hours ago.
He's been getting better and better.
Outside the medical van, the crowd is growing larger, ready to cheer this runner on to his victory. A 5-piece band brings new spirit to this cool afternoon. It's a very positive, hopeful mood.
I really felt that I could finish it. I didn't know how far I could go or how I would feel at the end, but I really felt that I could do it physically and psychologically.
You feel better at the end than you thought you might?
Yes, yes. The last 3-4 hours, actually, as each hour went by, I felt better. A lot of that, again, was any adrenaline that was left in me was being pumped by the music that was being played at that time, the number of people that came out, the number of people that ran the track with me. That really pumped me up. And that's really what kept me going there, too. I wanted to complete it.
And complete it he does. Gordon Klatt has walked and run for 24 hours, covering 81 miles and raising more than $26,000 to carry on the work of the American Cancer Society. His supporters share in the glory of his moment, for many of them have walked along, covering those miles and contributing their support. Klatt looks to be stronger at the finish than he was halfway through his day and night ordeal.
I had no qualms about doing it again. I did not finish the run and say, boy, I'll never do this again. I've had no thoughts that way at all. It's a good feeling.